Good morning, my name is Leo Tabick, Director and owner of the Golf Performance Academy. This is going to be the beginning of a series of informational packets that are going to improve your golf game, your ball striking, more importantly, your enjoyment. This program is made for players of all levels, all ages. So follow me and we're going to discuss some of those areas right now. I'd like to discuss impact. When the golf club strikes the golf ball, the most misunderstood picture and thought is that the club face is aiming at right angles to the target line at impact. I would like players to recognize and understand that the club face is slightly open at impact. As the ball separates from the club face, the face is then, through a force of inertia, jarred square and the ball rotates slightly right to left. So at impact, that club face visual effect that you'd like to have is that the face of the club is aiming slightly right, slightly right. The other factor is that the golf ball is out in front of us. It's in front of us as we set up to the golf ball properly. So the visualization we'd like to assure ourselves is that the club face is aiming slightly right. You'll also notice how the shaft is leaning forward. Well, that's the property of the equipment. The shaft of the club is always designed forward of the club head at address. And you'll get a better view of that once I place it down the target line. So the first understanding is that we deliver the face of the club on a slight open angle to the golf ball visually. Mechanically, the shaft of the club is deflecting backwards. So if you have the understanding that the club face is square at impact, you'll have the face of the club travel forward of the shaft, leading to striking behind the ball, loss of power, loss of center of hit. Moving down to the next shape of the club, the golf shaft has an angle to it. And as clubs increase in length, the angle is lessened. The shorter the club, the angle is steeper until you get to the putter, which is about 77-degree angle to the face of the club. Our understanding is when we stand to the golf ball that we need to match the shape of our body to the shape of the shaft. I'd like to go back to that discussion quickly. The golf ball is struck with the club face aiming slightly right in a downward blow, So we're compressing the golf ball down into the ground so that ball leaves the face ballistically on its own. We're not lifting it, we're not pushing it, we're not lifting it, we're not pushing it, we're compressing it into the ground. The ball rebounds off the face just as it rebounds off the ground, or the basketball off the wooden floor, or the tennis ball off the racket of the tennis racket. That golf ball or that baseball is being compressed in, or the soccer ball is being compressed into the foot. But our understanding in ball striking is that we compress the ball down into the ground and the ball leaves the face. In order to effect that to some consistency, the shaft of the club has an angle to it. And the shaft of the club's angle needs to be maintained in a space. And we need to deliver that shaft of that club on its design, always leaning forward. We're always delivering a leaning shaft, and as the yellow hula hoop signifies, we're staying in our space. So we're just staying there, not how to stay there. You can figure that out just by doing it. There's just so many times you're going to hit golf shots practicing after this information with the club head having an ascending blow, and then all of a sudden it's one descending blow, and that will give you the feedback necessary. Whether the feedback is visual, sensory, or intellectual, that is your first step in ball striking. And that's what I do when I start with players. I introduce the shape of the golf club, the concept of compression into the ground. The milk crate, the shaft, is leaning. All motion originates from impact. The entire swing originates from impact. Many of the facts that are discussed are about in-swing. The golf swing is continuous. Doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end, doesn't have a backswing, doesn't have an impact and finish. It just has a rotational motion. A rotational motion that's based on the design of the golf club. Shape, body, design of the golf club. The smash bag is used to create the understanding that we just go and that's the look that you see in all magazines and all players on TV, because that is the only look. That is the look in ball that you see in World Series. This is our look at impact. The golf ball is is on the baseline. Baseline refers to the sole of the club being perpendicular to the target line. We stand on the inside of the target line for right-handed players. Left-handed players are on the right side. We fit the shape of the golf club through rotation or through your personal understanding. That golf ball and that target line is out in front of us. And that's what we're interested in achieving. That golf ball is compressed, the ball is on the face, off the face, and whatever happens here is a result of the force that you originated into your backward motion. So those are some of the areas that we cover, and we're going to cover practically as we move ahead to the short game area, and we'll discuss compression, shaft of the club being on plane at impact, and delivering a leaning shaft. Delivering a leaning shaft, fitting the shape of the particular golf club that you have, is what we're interested in doing. So come on over, let's go to the short game.